Hello, my name is Drake, and this week I bought a microphone, and I also did a deep dive into the origin of theme songs. So, enjoy.
Posted in the terrace on a slope, blowing smoke in front of Lennon's ghost. Thinking on if I did enough, they gon' tell me that I did the most.
So, I was just sitting there watching one of my favorite shows, Psych, and it's not Psych like Gotcha, like I actually was. It was called Psych, and I was sitting there like, man, this theme song's like perfect for this show. And I was like, for some reason I was like, oh wait, where did like theme songs start? That was like the thought process. Okay, so Robert Thompson's a professor of television and pop culture, which by the way, that's a cool ass job to have. He says, quote unquote, in the earliest days of TV, the purpose of the TV theme song was to actually be the first commercial of the program. So back in the earliest days of TV, a company would actually sponsor an entire show, and all the commercials during that show's running would actually be about that company. The show would oftentimes even have the company's name in it, and the research that I found gave the show the Texaco Star Theater, which was sponsored by Texaco Oil and Gasoline, and that show came out in like 1940s, like early times. But in the 50s, the ad rates actually started to get too high and companies could not pay for them on their own. So the theme song became more of an alarm to let you know that the show is about to start. Today they are noted as commercials for the shows, though. Some of my personal favorites are Friends, I'll Be There For You. I have a tattoo of that with my mother. Another one is Sykes, I Know You Know. Community's At Least It Was Here. And Scrubs, Superman. In fact, commonly theme songs nowadays actually show clips of the show to kind of let you know what you're going to be getting into the season. I strictly remember the first time I noticed this was in Good Luck Charlie when I was a kid. I was like, I remember asking my dad, like, how do they already, or if I thought that they were filming it and putting it out weekly, because I was a child and stupid, but he was like, oh, they already filmed that. And in my head, that processed as they filmed for the theme song specifically and then wrote the rest of the show around the theme song because I'm stupid. However, specifically noted in the 80s due to the rise of TV remotes, theme songs actually got way shorter, like Law and Order and Lost. Fear was that if they made a longer theme song, like 2 minutes or whatever, that people would then leave and then not come back because they'd find something else better to watch. So they made them short so you wouldn't really be wasting time while you're trying to waste time. And then from the 60s to the 90s, it was actually super popular for a show's theme song to breach the top 10, if not the number one spot of the top hits for that like year. Thompson noted The Greatest American Hero in the 80s was also another one of like the top 10 songs, which I've also never heard of. But what I have heard of is Believe It or Not, which is the theme song name. And I will not sing it for you, but I have heard of it, and I've heard that song before. In the 90s, it was the previously aforementioned Friends with I'll Be There For You by The Remembrance. Speaking of Friends, The Remembrance's Friends is actually a super great theme song. It was lines like, I'll be there for you, because you're there for me too. That's a great theme song because it shows how much that they need each other, right? Very good theme song. Psych, however, has the song I Know You Know. The chorus just tells the premise of the show, so like you could pick up and get the concept of it if you hear the theme song. I know you know that I'm not telling the truth. I know you know they just don't have any proof. Embrace the deception. Learn how to bend. Your worst inhibitions tend to psych you out in the end. Uh, that gives the perfect description of what the show is. Of spoilers, it's just a guy lying about what he is to the cops for 8 seasons. Also, like the character himself is kind of given a good description in the first line of the song, which is I'm not inclined to resign to maturity, because Sean Spencer is so immature all the time, and he actually catches flack for it in the show. Oh my fuck. I just finished recording the whole video, and then I walked over there to stop the recording, and it said iPhone storage full, which it wasn't. That sucks. For Scrubs, the song Superman, sometimes credited as I'm No Superman, is written by Laszlo Bane, and it was actually released before Scrubs came out. The star of Scrubs, Zach Braff, who plays JD, heard that song, suggested it to Bill Lawrence, the executive producer, that it be used as a Scrubs theme song, and after it had proved success, they had added it to all the episodes, including the first one. The most memorable line from Scrubs is, "I can't do this all on my own. No, I'm no Superman," which kind of lies on they're doctors and they have to help each other, but they're also friends and they're there for each other. Now time for my favorite theme song, "At Least I Was Here" from Community, written by The 88. Especially requested by Dan Harmon. He said in an interview, "My interest in the song is the idea of what people have, what it's about, if that makes sense. It's the people's idea, not the actual 88's meaning of the song." The beginning of the song is, "Give me some rope, tie me to dream," as well as, "We could be roped up, tied up, dead in a year." And then they finally say, "I can't count the reasons I should stay. One by one, they all just fade away." Which feels like dark and a little suicidal if you listen to the lyrics for such a happy sounding song with a happy show behind it. If you listen to the full song, it actually says, "But I love you more than words can say. I can't count the reasons I should stay. One by one, they all just fade away." Which just feels really dark, like it just adds to it. But on the brighter side, many fans actually mishear "Give me some rope," and then they hear "tie me to tree," as in he's hanging himself. And still people imply that "tie me to dream" is like a afterlife concept and that they're still trying to hang themselves. In fact, so many people have changed the lyrics from dream to tree on the community wiki that there's actually a block that will not let that happen, and that started on November 16th of 2017. So maybe it's not as twisted as many people believe, but it does sound to be that way. I actually texted both of my parents, who were born in the 70s but grew up in the 80s, what their favorite theme song was from when they're growing up. My mom listed Golden Girls, Love Boat, and The Greatest American Hero, which I had mentioned previously. So, and I've never seen Love Boat, but I have seen Golden Girls, R.I.P. Betty White, and the rest of them. The song is "Thank You for Being a Friend," which, like the Friends theme song, plays into specifically that they are friends and there for each other. With lines such as, "Your heart is true, you're a pal and a confidant. I'm not ashamed to say, I hope it always will stay this way." It's just saying that, they hope that they're besties for the resties, I also had a culinary teacher in high school, shout out Renee, who looked like the Golden Girls, and then I ordered her a mug for Christmas that said the Golden Girls, and I photoshopped her face behind them, and it looked like she fit in, and it got lost in the mail. So when I had asked my dad this, he said, and I quote, "Transformers G1 Season 2, which is not to be unexpected from my dad because he is very into Transformers. The song actually doesn't have a title, but when I looked up Transformers G1 Season 2, I found the song, and I immediately recognized it from growing up hearing it all the time. It does, however, explain the plot fantastically, so that you can pick it up from the beginning of an episode, never watched a single episode before, and you will know what's happening. With lines such as, "Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons," that's like a dead giveaway of what the plot is. You immediately know that might be the greatest theme song on this list of just getting getting it out there. If you have any questions, ask them, I guess. And as always, as the late Baxter Hosley says, have a great day, bozos.